What if you could become a god? What if every memory, every book you've ever read, every language you've ever heard, and every pattern in the world became instantly accessible at the push of a button? Imagine waking up with a brain that functions not like a normal human, but like a supercomputer that never slows down, never forgets, and never gets tired. For Eddie Mora, this wasn't a fantasy. It was an experiment. He didn't just want to be successful, he wanted to be limitless. But as he soon discovered, there is a terrifying price for absolute power. This pill doesn't just change your brain, it rewrites your reality, your morality, and your survival instinct. From a failed, broken writer to a powerful U.S. senator, this is the story of a man who traded his humanity for a chemical rush. Today, we're going to cover exactly how he survived the price of genius. Our story begins in the heart of New York City with Eddie Mora. To put it bluntly, Eddie is a man drowning in his own mediocrity. He's a writer with massive writer's block. He hasn't written a single page in months. He's drowning in a mountain of bills. His apartment is a literal dumpster, and his girlfriend, Lindy, who was his only anchor, finally walks out on him. She's tired of his lack of ambition, his excuses, and his pathetic, directionless lifestyle. Eddie is, by all definitions, a loser. He's got nothing left to lose. That is until he runs into Vernon, his ex-brother-in-law, on the street. Vernon is a low-level drug dealer, but he tells Eddie he's got something new. He hands him a clear, translucent pill called NZT-48. He claims it allows you to access 100% of your brain's capacity. Skeptical but completely desperate, Eddie takes it. The effect is instantaneous. The gray world turns into high definition. The dull noise of the city becomes a symphony of information. Eddie cleans his entire apartment in mere hours. He organizes his life, and he sits down to write. He writes his book in 2 days flat. He's not just working, he's performing miracles. He realizes that the problem wasn't his lack of intelligence, but his lack of access. With the pill, he's not just writing, he's calculating, analyzing, and predicting. He walks into a high-end investment firm, turns a small loan into a fortune, and suddenly, he's a millionaire. He's magnetic. He reconnects with Lindy, but she's baffled. The man she left is gone, replaced by someone cold, brilliant, and terrifyingly intense. But the drug has a dark side that Eddie isn't prepared for. Eddie starts experiencing what he calls time skips. Horrifying blackouts where he wakes up hours or days later in completely different places with no memory of what happened. He was taking out a loan against his own sanity. When he goes to ask Vernon for more, he finds him murdered in his apartment. Eddie frantically tears the place apart, finds the secret stash, and calls the police. He realizes he's in deep trouble. He starts calling the phone numbers he found in Vernon's notebook. He thinks he can find other users, other people who know the truth. But every single person he calls gives him the same chilling news. They are either dead, sick, or completely ruined. The truth is starting to sink in. This drug isn't a gift, it's a death sentence. While fleeing and trying to make sense of the chaos, he takes a taxi and randomly runs into his ex-wife. She looks frail, broken, a ghost of her former self. She tells him the horrifying truth. She also took the drug, and it destroyed her health, just like the others. She warns him that the crash is coming, and it's worse than death. It's an agonizing physical and mental collapse. Eddie's life is now falling apart. The Russian loan shark Gennady catches him and demands the drug. Eddie tries to talk to Lindy, begging her to help him, but they fight over the pills. He tries to quit, but the withdrawal is agony. The world gets slow, his mind gets foggy, and his body begins to fail. He's terrified. He decides he needs protection, so he hires bodyguards, but it backfires spectacularly. He returns home to find a package. Inside, he finds the hands of his guards chopped off and sent to him as a gruesome warning from Gennady. He's framed for the murder of the girl he was with during a time skip. He's in a legal nightmare, but he manages to stay free thanks to a high-end, expensive lawyer he hires with his drug-fueled genius. He's rich, he's brilliant, but he's being hunted like an animal. He moves into a high-security hotel, constantly looking over his shoulder. The walls are closing in. Eddie is cornered in his hotel room. He's out of pills. He's shaking. He's sweating. He's dying. He decides to end it. He stands on the ledge of the hotel, ready to jump. But then he remembers one hidden pill he stashed away for an emergency. He reaches for it, but it slips from his fingers, falling, lost in the cracks of the floorboards. He's helpless. His attacker breaks into the room, demanding the safe be opened. Eddie is dying. He's shaking on the floor, but in a moment of pure, desperate madness, he realizes something. The pill is still in his attacker's system. It's in his blood. Eddie uses a glass shard to cut his own hand and drinks the attacker's blood. It's disgusting, it's primal, and it's effective. The NZT flows into his system. His brain ignites. He kills them all. He survives. He takes the stash from the dead man's driver and rises to the top. A year later, Eddie is a U.S. Senator. He's polished, powerful, and looks more composed than ever. But then, Carl Van Loon, the tycoon who tried to use him, comes to collect. He claims he has the last of the supply and that Eddie will eventually crash and burn just like the others. Eddie just smiles. He reveals he's spent the last year working with the best scientists money can buy. He's perfected the drug. He's removed the side effects. He doesn't need the pill to function anymore. He has integrated the power into his The final scene? Lunch with Lindy. He's calm, in control, and completely free. The man who couldn't write a single page is now writing the future of the country. That's Limitless, a movie about the ultimate temptation. What would you give to be perfect? Would you risk your life for a shortcut to greatness? If you made it this far, you're clearly as obsessed with this story as I am. You've seen the rise, the fall, and the transformation of a man who refused to be normal. This story is a warning, a thriller, and a dream all rolled into one. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Eddie Mora's journey, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to AMI Recap and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another high-stakes breakdown. What movie should I recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. I read every single one. Would you take the pill? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one.